welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the books that I purchased in the month of October. I actually got a lot of nonfiction books, which I'm really excited to talk to you about and to read. I'm trying to make an active effort to read more nonfiction. I feel like you just learn so much and you get so many different perspectives that you might not have gotten otherwise, and there are so many topics that I want to learn about that I think that would be a great place to start, is just reading a lot of nonfiction and books about them. So yeah, let's get right into it. The first book that I don't know what order I got these in, so I'm just gonna pick them up. One of the books that I got this past month was His Majesty's Dragon, which is book 1 in the Tamara series by Naomi Novik. You might know her from Uprooted. She's the author of Uprooted, and this is I believe a series that she wrote or she started prior to the release of that book. So this is a historical fantasy. It has dragons, it has wars, it has sailors. It's great. I'm really enjoying it. I only have about I have like 70 pages left. So I'm really enjoying this one and I do recommend it. I'll probably be doing a full review on this one once I am done. I also got Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, the illustrated edition, illustrated by Jim Kay. I actually got 2 books that have been illustrated by Jim Kay this past month. So obviously you know how much I love his artwork. And yeah, this is just a continuation of the series being re-released in illustrated books. So these are really big and really beautiful, and they're totally worth it. They make the story just a little bit more magical, so I definitely recommend that you guys pick them up if you love artwork and if you love Harry Potter. These would be an amazing addition to your collection. I also got the other Jim Kay illustrated book that I got was A Monster Calls, which is by Patrick Ness. I know very little about this, and the past month, I guess just because of the way that it looks, a lot of people have read it, and so it's been in a lot of people's wrap-ups and a lot of people's hauls and stuff, and I just try and skip over it when people talk about it because I have a feeling that this book is going to be very special and it's going to be really emotional, and I want to know as little bit about it as I possibly can going into it. I just know that it's about grief and loss, and so I'm getting out my tissues for it because I'm sure that it's going to be very emotional to read, but also very beautiful. So I got this one. I think I just sort of saw it somewhere and picked it up. I think it was Target. I was just walking around and I was like, I kind of want a new book, and they had this one, so I picked it up. Although I do kind of wish I had gotten it in hardcover because I was seeing just like the end papers and stuff, and it looked so beautiful. But this one's also very beautiful, obviously. So I can't wait to get to this one. And then pretty much everything else that I got, no, we haven't gotten to the nonfiction just yet. I got a tattoo this past month, and the tattoo artist kept raving about Sherlock Holmes, how it's her absolute favorite fictional character. She's read all of the stories and she just wouldn't stop talking about it, and so I've always wanted to read Sherlock Holmes, but I just haven't gotten around to it for whatever reason. And so we have a store here in Florida called Books A Million, and they have a clearance section like most books do, and they have these editions. They're the Arcturus editions, and they had 3 different Sherlock Holmes books. So I got this one, which in the back it says which stories are in it or when the stories in it were published, and so this was the earliest one. It's just called The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, and it was only like $5, so I decided to pick it up, and I'm sure I'll love them. I know he's very eccentric and a lot of people absolutely love him, so I'm sure I will be right alongside them. And yeah, so now let's get to the nonfiction books. So the first nonfiction book that I got was The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander, and this one is, I hear, so important. And if you want to know anything about sort of how the justice system treats people of color, and I don't know if it focuses on men, and people of color, then this is something that you should definitely read. It says mass incarceration in the age of color blindness, which I have always been against color blindness. I think when you say, oh, I don't see color, you're dismissing the oppressions of other people. You're dismissing the their life experiences that have been purely shaped because of the color of their skin. And I think that does a disservice to them, and it does a disservice to you, because it keeps you ignorant to those struggles, and it doesn't help anybody. It really doesn't. And so I am so excited to get to this one. I have like 6 books that I have to read for this year-long reading challenge that I'm doing, and I'm hoping that I can get through those as quickly as possible and get to this one, because I think this is just going to be one of those that opens my eyes even more and just really packs a punch and teaches me so much. So I'm sure this will not be the last time you see this on this channel, and I recommend everybody read this book. Even though I haven't read it yet, I'm sure I will be recommending it to everybody. So yes, this is The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander. And then there was this really awesome like 50% off sale in this website called Hey Market, I think it is. I saw just a link of it on that someone shared on my Facebook, and I went to it, and they had so many books on social justice and just the oppression of different individuals, and there's so many amazing books, and they were all 50% off. And so I got 4 books because I couldn't control myself, even though I was like literally earlier that day I was like, I can't buy any more books. And then of course I did, because you know how we all are. So I got these 4 books that I'm really excited. They're all about things that mean a lot to me, and so I can't wait to share them with you guys and to read them myself. So the first one is The Dispossessed. This one is by Alfredo Molano, and this is Chronicles of the Desterrados of Colombia. And so this, from what I read in the synopsis, or just the little snippet that it had of it, it's just stories of individuals who have been displaced due to the political and social unrest and economic unrest in the country of Colombia. And I don't know if you guys have seen in the news that they were trying to do a peace deal, and that failed. So I would like to get more of the backstory. My boyfriend's Colombian, and I love many Colombian people. That sounded really Trumpy. But I have a lot of people who I consider to be absolute family, and like they are my family. They're from Colombia, so I do want to read more about how things got to be the way they were, and stories about individuals who have been through all of that. And so I think this will be a very emotional and very important read for me personally. Then I have The Politics of Che Guevara, Theory and Practice by Samuel Farber. I know almost nothing about this individual except his picture, because it's one of the most famous pictures ever, I think. And so I feel like he has like a cult following still. And so it says here he's a symbol of legions of young rebels and revolutionaries, which I consider myself a young rebel and revolutionary. His face emblazoned across t-shirts and posters throughout the world. So that's always been very interesting to me. I think he's Cuban. Like I said, I don't know almost nothing about him, but hopefully this will be a good starting point, and I'll let you guys know what I think about it. I was talking in my wrap-up about how reproductive justice is very important to me, and the right for a woman to choose, and how I do a lot of volunteer and advocacy work for that. And so one of the books that they had for sale was this one. It's called Undivided Rights: Women of Color Organized for Reproductive Justice. And this is by Jill Silman, Marlene Gerber-Fried, Loretta Ross, and Elena Gutierrez, which, if this isn't one of the most perfect books for me, I don't know what is. I mean, it specifically talks about women of color in a movement that matters so much to me. And to tell you that I got so excited when I saw this would be the worst just understatement of the year. This book, I'm sure, will have so much amazingness in it, and there are so many, wow, they're like sources up the wazoo, which is very good. So it'll give me more stuff to read after I'm done with this one. So yeah, this one, plus it has a beautiful cover, just FYI. But yeah, this one I'm so excited to read. Like, I think this is gonna be one of those books. And then this one, I feel like I've said this about every single one of them, but I'm so excited about it because, and look at how big it is. It's definitely a lot bigger than I thought. It is called Palante. Voices and Photographs of the Young Lords, 1969 to 1971. So I'm sure most, if not all of you, have read about the Black Panther Party and what they did. So the Young Lords were Puerto Rican revolutionaries around the same time who had similar visions, and a lot of the times were together, and they did so much. They did a lot of good for the community. And so Palante is a combination of para delante, para. It's essentially, it's to continue. It's a slang Puerto Rican term to continue, keep going, just push through. And so did so many awesome things, and this is something that I'm very like, I'm embarrassed to say that I know so little about them, just being the type of person that I am and believing the type of things that I believe. I would like to think that if I was alive during this time, I would have totally been part of the Young Lords. But you know, dreaming. So yeah, this one, and it's a super short read. Like I said, it's shorter but bigger than I thought. So yeah, it has a lot of really awesome pictures in it. Revolution is not something we want to do. It is bloody and cruel, but it is something we have to do to live decently and free. I mean, I definitely believe that. So I can't wait to read this one. I cannot wait to read this one. You'll see this one again. You'll see all of these again many times, because this is amazing, and it means so much to me as a person that I'm so glad it was there. When I saw it, I didn't even have to read the snippet that it had for it. I didn't read anything. I just saw the title and I added it to my cart. I was not going to give up the chance to get that, especially at a discounted rate. What? So yeah, if you have read any of these books, please let me know what you thought about them down below. If any of these interest you, please let me know what you what you think about these topics. And if you've read up on these topics and you wanna share that with me, please let me know down below. I'm always for discussing things like that. They mean so much to me. And yeah, I will leave the link to the Haymarket website down below, because I feel like that's not going to be the last time that they do a sale like that. Plus, you got free shipping if your order was over $25. Plus, you got a free ebook with every single purchase that you got. If it had an ebook, you got it for free, like immediately. So you don't have to wait until you got it in the mail or anything. You can start reading it right away. I don't like to read ebooks, but if you do, that's an awesome incentive, I think. So yeah, please communicate with me. I love talking to you guys. Please leave me some comments and some love down below. I'll also link all of my social media down below if you want to connect with me that way as well. I'm very active in all of them. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and until next time.